Once you have your story all worked out in the custom GPT that we talked about in the last video, you're going to take everything. Let's just pretend there's a lot of back and forth, and this is a much longer conversation than the few lines you're seeing on your screen. But what I'm going to do is copy this. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to identify who needs our story and what kinds of things are they searching for so we can meet them with meaningful content that both positions us as a thought leader in our space, but also is answering actual questions from our audience. Okay, the name of the game is AEO right now, Answer Engine Optimization. And what that means is that people aren't just going into a search engine like Google anymore to look for their answers. They're plugging their questions into ChatGPT, Claude, and they're looking for answers to their questions on these LLMs in addition to something like Google. And what you want to capture is all of their search terms in all of these different places and relate that back to your story and how you can answer those questions for them in a way that nobody else is. Okay, now that sounds really complicated, but I'm going to show you a super easy way to do it. So just follow along. So once you have your story here, again, you're going to copy and paste this, and you'll want to go to brandpod.ai and sign up for a free account. Okay, this is free forever. So just say start for free. You're going to fill out all of your information here. And then once you're all set up, it's going to take you into your account, which is going to look something like this. It's going to start asking you some questions once you've picked which account you want to use and which plan you want to sign up for. But you're going to see something like this as it gets you started on your process. You'll want to answer some of these basic questions like which language are you looking to build your personal brand in, what your name is, so who are we building a personal brand for. If you're doing this for a client, keep in mind that you would put in their name, not yours. Then you want to let the AI know, do you want the AI to refer to you as a he or a she? Feel free to select that here. Next, it's going to ask which country is your personal brand focused on right now. So just pick a country wherever you're based or wherever your target audience is located, if that's not the same place as where you are based. Okay, now this button here is the same custom GPT that we just worked through in the last video. Same exact one. So if you wanted to start again, this is where you can always find that custom GPT. But if you've already done the exercise, you have that conversation, copy that entire conversation from there and simply paste that entire conversation in here. Once you do that, you'll click on the Analyze button and it's going to extract all of the answers that it needs from that conversation that you just had with the custom GPT to answer some basic questions that Brandpod's agents need in order to go do that research for you on your ICP, or in other words, your target audience, your ideal customer profile. Once you've done that, you should see all of these survey answers already pre-populated from that custom GPT conversation. So go ahead, click through it, read each of the answers, make any edits if you need to, make sure this is hyper accurate. If there are any details that you forgot to add when you were talking to the custom GPT, this would be a great place to add them in. Or maybe if you brought up something with the custom GPT, but you don't really think that's relevant to where you want to be right now, you can delete that as well. But just step through each of these and make sure that these are answered in as much detail as possible. And again, this is about you as the individual, as the human behind whatever it is that you're doing right now with your career, and not your actual career. This is not about your business. This is not about your offers. This is not about your role or title within your company. Okay, so just keep that in mind. This is all about you. So go ahead and step through all of these answers, upload a picture of yourself here at the end. And then once you're done, you'll be able to click on Run Your Agents and your agents are going to go do their thing. Mine are already run, so I'm going to cancel out of this to show you what you're going to see next. So once you run your agents for the very first time, you're actually going to see a screen that looks like this. This is where you get to pick what your personal goals are with your personal brand right now. For some of you, it might just be that you want to build a personal brand website so you can link that in some of the work that you're already doing, or that you want to start creating better content that attracts your ideal audience. Maybe you want to build a lead magnet that is on brand and reflects who you are as a thought leader versus just something that reflects your offers or your business. You might want to create your signature keynote or start writing for third-party publishers, or really just dive in and start getting featured and interviewed on podcasts and eventually on stages. So for this example, I'm going to focus on the AEO content. So I'm just going to select that. I'm going to say, let's go. And here it's going to collect some basic information about you. Now, one thing to note is that if you are on a free plan, you can still get a lot of intel about your audience before you decide to sign up for anything, but you won't be able to create content just yet if you're on a free account. Everything comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you do want to upgrade and try these things out, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, I'll show you what you can do with your free account to continue on this journey and start understanding where your audience is and how you can start creating content for your audience. So if you're on a free account, the only option that will show up for you is this build a personal brand website that you can do for free based on your story, based on what your audience is searching for. If you're on a light or pro account, you can select the AEO content option, say, let's go, fill out your basic links and information here. You'll want to go into your brand kit, tell the system whether you prefer dark mode, light mode, what are some of your favorite colors. Once you have your media all good to go, it's going to ask you to connect to your Google Drive. You want to do that just because any content that you create in one of the paid plans, you can easily export and save to your Google Drive. So really important step to do here. And then when you get to the last step, you'll see the content agent. Again, this is only available on paid plans. But here, what you'll be able to do is look at all of your audience's search terms. You'll be able to look at what they're searching for on LLMs, on ChatGPT, on Google, everywhere. And you'll be able to create content on any of these topics. If you're on a light plan, or if you're just looking to create content on one single topic, you can use the single select create and select a topic and select the formats that you want to create content in and continue, and it'll take you step by step through each of the formats that you have selected. It will pull in automatically the language that you selected when you were just starting your account, your audience details, the topic that you just selected to create content on, and any similar keywords related to that topic that you just picked. These are actual keywords that your audience is actually actively searching for. It's going to pull everything in here. So if anything is not relevant, you can always remove those keywords here. Make sure that only the keywords that you actually want to target, both primary and secondary keywords, are in this section. You'll be able to pick a brand voice, which you can always create more of in your brand profile that I'll show you where that lives. You'll create your brand voice, pull it in here, and then just follow the prompts to create all of your different content. For every single topic, it'll create one blog post. If you have selected an email newsletter, it'll create one email newsletter. For any social media formats that you selected, like Facebook and LinkedIn, it's going to create between 3 to 10 pieces of content for each topic. So once you're done, get to the end and you'll be able to export everything into your Google Drive. Now, if you're on a free account, you're going to be able to dive right into your brand profile to make sure that the agents really nailed who you are, what your unique value is, what your market positioning should be, what your unique value proposition is. You'll be able to go in and see what it extracted with your brand narrative, what your story is, what your transformation arc is. This is the kind of stuff that keeps you top of mind. You'll be able to look at the messaging and positioning strategy that it's created for you. This is where you can create your brand voices. If you have any content that you want the AI to learn from, you'll be able to put this in here. The other thing you'll want to focus on is your target audience. This is where you start to get that intel on your audience. And again, this is all done for you the first time you run your agents. It'll all be free in your free forever account, no credit card required. It's going to tell you what their content habits are, which publications and blogs they're reading, which platforms they're on, who they're following, their search behavior. This is the same thing we saw in the content agent, which is locked on free accounts, but in your free account, you'll be able to see all those search terms right here. So if you are on a free account and you want to take some of these things and feed them into ChatGPT and start writing content dialed into what your audience's actual search terms are, you're going to see a world of difference. Now, of course, because Brandpod has context on your story and everything you discussed with the custom GPT, the content that you create in here is going to be a lot more dialed into your specific unique value, which may or may not happen with ChatGPT or any other LLM of your choice, depending on how much it knows about you. But assuming that you've been using an LLM and that one of these LLMs has a lot of context about who you are as a person, and then you feed in these exact search terms and tell it to start writing content based on those search terms, you're going to see a completely different response to your content when you are being intentional about answering actual questions that are being asked by your audience right now. You'll also be able to see what some of the key trends are, what discussions they're having online, some of their concerns and themes that have been coming up for this target audience, and where you can network with them, both on social media, on online communities, and live and in person. Okay, it's going to show you all of these different events that are coming up in your industry and that you could be going to. So with that, go get this intel on your audience, find out exactly what they're searching for this week, how that connects to your story, and start creating more meaningful content that isn't just something that ChatGPT made up for you, but is actually based on search terms from your audience this week. I hope you have fun with it.